Okay, question 11. Okay, here we have a circle, and here we have if you like, this line is a tangent to the circle, this line is also a tangent to the circle, and you should know that the angle between a tangent, which is here, straight line that just touches the circle, and a radius is always 90 degrees, which gives us the answer to the first part. Why is angle CAO, which is this one here, why is that angle going to be a right angle, this angle here? And the reason it's a right angle is because the angle between a tangent and a radius, so the angle between a tangent and a radius is always 90 degrees. So we can just write angle between tangent and radius. That'll do. Okay, you can see that it's 90 degrees. Okay, now the next part question says we need to find the perimeter of the kite AOBC. Okay, so here's our kite. Now we already know that this is 5.7 centimeters. Okay, and because of symmetry, okay, if we have two tangents meeting at a point which is outside a circle, these two tangents will actually be exactly the same length. Okay, so this part from B to C is also 5.7 centimeters. Okay, if we look at the other two sides that we need to find, these two sides here, both of those are actually the radius of the circle. So from O to B and from O to A will be exactly the same length. So we only actually need to find one of them, and then we're just going to have to add the two together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this triangle here. So triangle O, I'll just draw it again, might make it a little bit easier. Okay, so the triangle that goes from O to A to C, in which we know that that is 6.9 centimeters, and we know that this is 5.7 centimeters, and our job is to find the length of this side here. Now, here we have a right angle triangle. We know the length of two sides, therefore we can use Pythagoras' theorem. Okay, so in other words, we know that one of the short sides squared plus the other short side squared, so x squared plus 5.7 squared, is going to equal 6.9 squared, the hypotenuse squared. And if I work those out on my calculator, x squared plus 32.49, okay, which is what we get from squaring 5.7, is the same as 47.61. Okay, if we now want to find out what x squared is, I'm going to subtract the 32.49 from both sides. I end up with x squared is equal to 15.12, which means that x is going to be the square root of 15.12, which comes out on my calculator. I'm just going to write it down as 3.8884. I'm going to leave that on the screen of my calculator because I'm going to use that in a minute. The perimeter then of the whole kite, okay, is going to be, if I start from C, I'm going to do 5.7, okay, plus 3.884, blah, blah, plus 3.8884 again. So I'm going to do two lots of 3.88 dot, 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 which I've saved on the screen of my calculator, plus this length here, which is another 5.7. So you can see now I've gone all the way around the kite and I found its perimeter. And if I add all of those together, I can just use my calculator, I get 19.1768, which if I round, I think it wants it to three significant figures. If we want the answer to three significant figures, it's going to come out as 19. So I'm going to chop off, there's my third significant figure. I'm going to cut the number off after the 1. Because it's followed by a 7 though, that 1 has to round up to a 2. In other words, I get 19.2 centimeters. So that is the perimeter of the kite, 19.2.